Yo, morning gangsters. Well, it is, where's my phone gone? 5:43 AM and I am up bright and early. It's looking, I'm going to say a little bit cloudy, but I think we might have a little inversion kicking on out there. Anyway, it's time for some brekkie. More specifically, an all-day breakfast. Really looking forward to this because I am starving. I definitely didn't eat enough yesterday, and with the amount of miles that we're crunching through, we need to make sure that we're eating quite a lot. Most of yesterday were fueled on a bloody tuna butty from Bossman at shop, so I definitely need to be eating more today. Not bad. It's beans in it, 90% beans, so you can't really go wrong. I'm going to make a quick coffee. Them beans were alright, you know, to be fair, can't complain. I've got some caramel lattes in here, Nescafe. What are they again? Can't even remember what they are, to be honest. Oh, cookies, something or other. Whatever they are, they're banging. And then I've also got the Starbucks caramel latte as well. I'm not messing about on this trip. I'm going to go for one of these because I've got more of them. Can't really let go of that. Shouldn't really be using the stove inside the tent either, but it is what it is, my friend. So at the start of every day I'm popping an electrolyte in my water, as well as a little squirt of this dilute pop, just to give it a bit more flavour and that. See, that's how cold it got last night. Look at all that. Pure ice all over the tent. Right then, all packed away, leave no trace as always. Day 2 on the West Island Way. Day 2 on Wainwright's coast to coast. Now we just need to find this path. So the path is only there, you can just see the cairns. And then we'll be cutting across. We're actually heading towards Honister slate mine this morning. I love getting up nice and early and hiking when most are still fast asleep. There's something about having the trail to yourself. The quiet, the cool air, the calmness, the sense that the day is completely yours. And to be honest, I'm feeling pretty good right now. Legs are fresh, pack's sitting right, and I'm ready for whatever the day's got in store. Whether it's rain, sun, steep climbs or unexpected detours, bring it on. We're about 26.5 miles in, depending on what map you look at. To the left of me is the Honister Pass. I actually walked up there not too long ago when it were all snowing on the tops. and I did a little circular loop up onto Dale Head. I think it was my how I navigate video. So we've just got to Honister slate mine, and it's actually England's last fully working slate mine. So if you want some signs knocked up and that, they can sort you out. They do loads of sort of activities here as well, tours, and there is actually a cafe as well. But unfortunately, it's 10 to 8 and it doesn't open until 8:30, so I'm not hanging about. Just look at all the layers in the landscape. Not princess layers.
I recognised your foul stench when I was brought on board.
Same as yesterday, I've got no set plan on how far I'm going to walk today. I'm just going to keep going until I can't be bothered anymore. I am going to remind myself, or try remember to at least, have a couple of breaks en route. To be fair, judging by some of the hills that we're going to be tackling, I won't need reminding to have breaks. I'll be begging for some breaks. And I need to make sure I'm eating more as well. That is essential, because I am burning through calories like no man's business. And then hopefully towards the back end of the day we'll find somewhere decent to pitch. I do need signal tonight. I know that shouldn't be a priority on a hike like this, but I've got a game that I am watching. I'm not missing that for anything. So I am going to have that in mind as well. So if we're at a place where there's signal and there's a decent pitch and it's still quite early, then I might be making most of that and calling it an early finish for today's hiking. But we'll see how we get on. Plenty of time yet. It's just gone 8:10, so once we get to the bottom of here, or at least I think it's the bottom, we will be at Sea Toller, and then we just carry on for a little bit further and we'll get to Patterdale. Yo, what's happening? Open top bus rides round here, Kecker. Get me on that thing. So with this hike, there's actually in certain places, more so the Lake District, options to do a high route or a low route. Now the plan for me from the off was to only take the high route if it's a route that I've not done before. In other words, if there's some Wainwrights that I can bag on the high route, we're doing the high route.
But because this is like a 192 mile hike, there's no point me doing the high routes that I've already done, if that makes sense. So I'm not saying there's no point, but I'm just not gonna. It's just extra work for something that I've already done. Whoa! Like I know there's an option where you can do St Sunday Crag. I only did St Sunday Crag less than 6 months ago. In fact, the full route that is on the high route I've done for St Sunday Crag anyway. Same again, I know there's an option to do haystacks back there. I've already done haystacks. Some people even do Helvellyn. I've done Helvellyn 4 or 5 times, whatever, so there'd just be no point. Thank you. How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, good, thank you. We've got the next big ascent to do now, so I'm going to take this Sentry off and I'm going to get out today's secret weapon. Fruit jellies, mate. What are you saying about them? So these have got 100 calories, or 95, come on, what's 5 calories amongst friends? Got 95 calories per 4 sweets. So we've basically got just short of 700 calories in 200 grams. That is some hella decent calorie to weight ratio. I spotted these and thought, do you know what, that's a bit of me that. Good time to whip out the old Oakleys, because we are directly walking straight into the sun and it's too hot to put the cap on to cover the eyes. Big shout out to the people at Oakley anyway, fair play to them. I got a message, well I got an email one day saying, we've seen your videos, we'd like to send you some prescription glasses. Thinking decent man, Oakley's and that. But I'd recently just got 2 new pairs of prescription glasses. So I said, does that include sunglasses? And they said, yeah, pick whichever ones you want, send us your prescription and we'll send them out to you. And I was like, cool, what do you want in return? And they said, nothing, no plug. This were last year, about, I don't know, probably nearly a year ago or something. And I'm like, fair play man, as if buzzing, because I'm not in a position to be able to buy expensive sunglasses, man. That's a luxury right there. So big up Oakley. Look at that. Nice little waterfall. Bit of a plunge pool and that. Stunning view down that valley. This is definitely a remote part of the hike, because I've not seen anyone for quite a while. I just seen a little head pop up then. Alright mate. Oh, he's gone. I think we've still got to go up there yet. Looking on the map, it appears that there is 4 big peaks in the Lake District on this hike. We did the first one yesterday, just before we pitched up. And we've just done, or we're just about to complete the second one. Not quite sure what the third one is, but I know the 4th one is Kidsty Pike, and that is the highest point, not just in the Lake District, but on the entire coast to coast. So that was the hardest climb so far on the coast to coast IMO, and we've now been rewarded with a well-made stone path. You gotta respect Wainwright, haven't you, for building all these paths all them years ago. single-handedly. What a man.
Fake news.
Well, what goes up must come down. But as we travel in this direction, we've got the opportunity to bag 3 fresh Wainwrights: Calf Crag, Gibson Knot and Helm Crag. I think there is an option to take a lower route down into Grasmere. But remember what I said, if there's Wainwrights to be bagged, I'm having them. Weird, isn't it, when you just see piles of shit a few centimetres away from where you've just grabbed your water. Oh dear. Tell you what though, that path looks beautiful from here. I think as of this year, Wainwright's Coast to Coast has actually been made an official trail. So I wonder if in years to come, is it going to be a lot busier, like the West Island Way? Surely it will be. Which is why they're doing so many repairs on the paths and putting up extra signs and all that stuff. But there's just nobody about. It's so quiet. I've seen the odd few people, but I don't think they're doing the coast to coast. Obviously that's good. I'm loving it. Less people the better for me, just while I'm on the trail and that. I know it's good to get people outdoors and that, but still, quieter the better. Suits me fine. But the thing is, it is quite early in the year for people to be doing multi-day hikes. Usually people leave it till May, maybe back end of April. This has been filmed early April, because even now we've got plenty of daylight hours for hiking. It's not been getting dark until like, I don't know, I think it's 5 to 8 sunset, something like that. And it's pre-midge season, which is always a bonus. And this is that lovely path that I could see, because I can imagine this area being terrible to navigate before. Oh, and I decided I was going to do this trail in like February or something. It might have even been end of January when I booked my train. So obviously I had no idea what the weather was going to be like. And come on! Perfect hiking conditions. A little bit too warm at times. I'm sweating. I can't complain. As long as that rain stays away, I'm happy. I've had enough of that rain with that Cadair Idris camp last week. So I think we're going to come to a little crossroads in a few minutes, and then we need to veer left. There we are, look. So you can go down straight into Grasmere, or you can go up, do those 3 Wainwrights, and then drop down back into Grasmere, I'm guessing. So both routes end up at the same place eventually, obviously, but it just means we can bag these Wainwrights. Big Al. This little ledge is just asking to be stood on. Oh man. Soak it in. The coast to coast. Eating taters and toast.
Coast to coast with taters and toast.
What an area, man. Nice little tarn over there. And here I can see a group of people now coming along this path. So I presume we're heading up there. Oh. Can hear some jets. Oh, it'd have been nice if they'd have come this way. So that's where we're heading, to bag the first fresh Wainwright of the trail. And we're not doing bad for time, to be fair. I've done 9.7 miles today, 20,000 steps, and it's only 11:30. That's roughly about the time I set off yesterday, I think. I'm not sure, to be honest. This is Calf Crag in the bag, my 93rd Wainwright. Plenty more to do, but it's another one ticked off the list. There is some beautiful places to pitch around here. I think I'm going to have 10 minutes, chill out, take my trainers off for a bit and relax. That was actually my first break of the day, and I spent a good half hour chilling there. I got my tent out as well, tried drying it out a little bit. It has a little bit, but not fully, but it's better than no. So now we're off over to Gibson Knot. It's 10 past 12 now, and according to the map, obviously I can't tell exactly, but it looks like we're about halfway through the Lake District. Got another one of these pepperami fire sticks for dinner. There you go, you can get a proper look at the two variations now. So you can either go down that valley, basically I'm guessing following that stream. There'll be a path close to it. Yeah, there is, you can see it just at right hand side of the stream. It's a path that goes all the way down. What we've done, we've gone up there onto that one, and then we've got a second little lump there, and then a third lump there, and I'm guessing we'll just drop straight down and meet up with this path. I think that's Grasmere, that area. Boom. So this is the summit of Gibson Knot, and what a view that is. Whoa. My 94th Wainwright. Let's get up to the next one. And we are now at the summit of Helm Crag, Wainwright 95 of 214. Let's crack on. Can't tell you how nice this grass feels on the feet. I'd say for the last 10 mile, maybe 9 mile, we've had just pure rock. We're now down from bagging those three, and it is 1 mile to Grasmere. This space is for fire and mountain rescue vehicles only. Just that little space there, a little bit of grass. I didn't end up actually going to Grasmere village, but I've been walking along this tarmacked road. I am on the coast to coast path. I just didn't go to the village. And then if I turn right up here, Grisedale Tarn, 2.5 miles. I'll take that, it looks like that's the next spot, and then I'll be able to top up on water as well. So I've only got a little bit inside of my pack, not sure which side. One side I've got a little bit of water, and then I've got a few dribbles in that side, and I need to stay hydrated. I know there is a little stream here next to me, but there's a load of sheep literally standing in and out of it and that, so I'm going to swerve that one. But I know I've mentioned it a lot, and I will continue to mention it a lot. Look at the conditions. There is not a cloud in the sky in sight. I very rarely get weather like this when I'm out hiking, so I'd say I accidentally timed this perfect. Right, gotta take it steady on here. I'm just crossing the A591, which I've drove on here a few times, because over in that direction is Filmere. What a trail this is, man. I am in my element. Loving life right about now. So just behind me, you can see the fat old lump that we've just come down. And now we're heading straight back up again. Remember when I said there were 4 main ascents? Obviously there's loads of little up and down ascents on the coast to coast in the Lake District. But there's like 4 main ones. We're now heading up the 3rd one. I'm not too far off Grisedale Tarn now, but I've just stopped for a little snack break. And I'm having a Pop-Tart. Obviously they're better when they're warmed up, but beggars can't be choosers right now. It's calories, and that's all I need. See where that geyser is there? Right in the middle of the screen. That's where Grisedale Tarn is. Will this be Grisedale Tarn? Oh yes. Yes it is. Get in, my son. Well then, we are approximately 40 miles into the hike so far. Whoa, nearly tripped up. And I've actually camped at Grisedale Tarn before. Behind me is Seat Sandal. I've done that. We've got Dollywagon Pike over there. I've done that. There's a dirty little path up that. It's awful. I remember doing it once, man. Nearly ended me. And then just behind me, which you can't really see, you might be able to see it in distance, is Fairfield. I've done that as well. I remember once I were on a route and I came down Fairfield, went up Seat Sandal. The wind was just too crazy. It was when I first started, like 6 months into camping or something. One of the first times that I'd been to the Lake District on my own. And then I remember coming down here and camping near Grisedale Tarn. Proper wobbly pitch and that, wonky. As I was on my way up here, I was thinking to myself, I'm going to end up pitching at Grisedale Tarn. But now I'm here, I've checked the time, it's 5 to 4. We might as well just crack on, haven't we? Get Ascents down to Patterdale, and then we'll take it from there. See what time we get there. We might even bash on towards Angle Tarn. Who knows? The day's still young. But remember, I do need signal tonight. So once it gets to like 6:30, 7 o'clock, I'm definitely going to be looking for somewhere to pitch. What's this little beauty? Ruthwaite Lodge. That's all fine and dandy, mate, but I thought I were a little boffy. Finally a bit of decent terrain. Some nice smooth stones for once. Feels like it's been a while. Let's get down this valley. The endless valley into Patterdale. It's kind of cool knowing I'm following the same path Wainwright mapped out all those years ago. He stitched together this route from coast to coast, not for fame or aught like that, just because he loved these landscapes. And now here I am, walking it too. Different time, same hills, and hopefully for his sake, same weather too, because so far it's been pretty fucking stunning. Hey up, we got another sign. Let's have a look. Grisedale Tarn, 1 3/4 miles that way. Patterdale, 2 2/3. What? That way. I genuinely thought we were nearly in Patterdale, but we're not even halfway from where we set off from Grisedale Tarn. Jeebus! Need to get toe down, man. Got a game to watch tonight. To be fair, I'd be more than happy pitching in this valley. I know we're quite low and you're not really supposed to, because there's a lot of farmland at this side, but I can nip over there and hide in corner. But the signal stinks, so we can't. SOS mode only. No chance. I've just realised I could possibly have the most messed up tan line on my eyeballs with these shades on, especially with these little side wind bloody things, whatever they are, wind protectors and that. A few piles of cack. Here they go again, out having fun, flying about. I say having fun, they could be training for all sorts, but I guess you never know these days. But whatever they're doing, it looks fun. Oh, there's another one, look how low that was, lower than trees then. Just gives me a little lift whenever I see them. Sick, man. I know it might be tarmac and that, but just walking on this smooth surface has given me a new lease of life. I feel like I've got my second wind. I say second wind, it's probably third wind, fourth wind, fifth wind, who knows. Not far till Patterdale now. I've actually been this way back down to Patterdale before, when I did my wild camp up near St Sunday Crag. I only just realised, well, we have officially arrived in Patterdale. And oh my lord, I can smell like roast beef or something coming from that pub. White Lion, food served all day. I bet they've got footy on as well. See, any normal person would just go in there, keep in there for the night, or in Patterdale Hotel, have a nice slap up meal, footy will be on the box, a couple of glasses of Coke. Nah, not me. I'm sure you've guessed by now though. I'm not very normal, to be honest. But remember, we're going to Angle Tarn. And that's his first sign for Angle Tarn. 2 mile. Buzzing, we can do that. Stunning round here though, eh? Class. It's 10 to 6 now, so I'd say we timed that not half bad. Don't get me wrong though, it is a bit of a climb up to Angle Tarn. It probably isn't, it just looks it on the map. But we'll see. I'm sure it will be after 25 mile or whatever I've done today, 24 mile or something. Ah shit, here we go again. See down into Patterdale. You right, Dale? Yes, man. We are finally at Angle Tarn. I have had to come up higher than the tarn because I couldn't get no signal. So I'm just off the summit of one of the Angle Tarn pikes and I've got 2 bars of 5G. Fingers crossed. Let's get this tent up, man.
Coast to coast with taters and toast.
And there we are, my good people, all pitched up in the Bonfuss Duos 2P above Angle Tarn. Well, footy's on. I've got signal, albeit outside the tent. Mad, innit? 2 bars of 5G here, nada in the tent. But I don't mind that. Chilling out. I've got Angle Tarn just behind you. Sick little view. And I'm just tucking in to my king pot noodle. Beef and tomato. Happy days, man. Right then, legends. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see me, if at all. The only thing lighting me up right now is the moon. So this is day 2, done and dusted, pitched up just above Angle Tarn. We are around, I'm going to say just over 46 mile in the trail so far. More than happy with the progress. Tomorrow we'll be leaving the Lake District and entering the Yorkshire Dales. As you might be able to hear, that wind's gone up a little bit, but at least it'll stop the condensation inside the tent, although it is a bit chilly. Right, anyway, I'm going to get some sleep and I'll see you lot in a bit. Right then, people, we are back in Google Earth, so I thought I'll give you another little overview so you can see where we're at. So first we'll find where we got to yesterday. So let's crack on it. I know it was just before the Honister slate mine. There we are, look. So we're in this little rocky outcrop, and then we hiked down towards Honister slate mine, checked that place out. We cracked on all the way down to Seatoller. Once I was in Seatoller, I actually found public toilets. So that was good to find. You know what it's like on trail and that. I managed to wash my face and that as well while I was down there. So I cracked on through here. It's round about this area where we found the little campsite. And I'm pretty sure that is it right there. So it's the YHA Patterdale, where it called, I think. Makes sense, and so it's in Patterdale. Once we got to this point, we were climbing up and out of this valley, up onto the tops, and we had some epic views, man. If I can just get that on 3D, I'll crack back down here, and then if I spin you round, that's that little valley that we walked up. That was epic. I remember it getting a little bit gnarly at this point. I think I went off at path, to be honest. Just went a bit of a free-for-all up there. So once we were at this point, this is where we had the option to either go straight down this valley, which is what it wants you to do on this map, or you can go over the tops like that, right there. And that's what we decided to do. We managed to bag 3 Wainwrights along there, and then we sort of dropped down this path here. You can just sort of see that path there curling round. We dropped down there and then on down towards Grasmere. Now, just like on this map, you don't actually go to Grasmere village on the coast to coast, but obviously if you want to get some supplies or whatever, you can do. It's there. And then this is where we crossed that road. Remember when I said I've drove down this road a few times? That is because if you go further up, you can park here, and it's a good way to get up Helvellyn. There you are, look, bad boy Helvellyn there. So we carried on here. We're feeling good at this point. There's a nice little climb all the way up towards Grisedale Tarn. This beast, where you're surrounded by Fairfield. We've got St Sunday Crag. We've got Dollywagon Pike, all that tackle. But we carried on all the way down this valley. I remember this seeming like quite a bit of a trek, to be honest, because at one point, I think I was about halfway through, and I thought we were close to Patterdale, but then I seen a sign which told me otherwise. But we carried on anyway, straight down into Patterdale. Now this section is one that I've done before, from when I did St Sunday Crag, because I'd come down here, and then I must have joined sort of the coast to coast path around here on this corner. So once I'd got to this point, I recognised it all. And then we popped out nicely in Patterdale. Oh man, this is where I could smell that roast beef or whatever it was coming from this pub right here. Oh my lord, I can smell like roast beef or something. Man, I was tempted. But now we've got to crack on. I remember crossing this beautiful bridge, having a look and realising that the views round here were stunning. Lovely jubbly. So we carried on all the way up this path. Here, to be honest, it might not look it on the old map. It's a bit of a climb. Certainly a nice little ascent at the end of the day. But we carried on, looped round all the way to Angle Tarn. Once I'd got to Angle Tarn, I was tempted to actually pitch down low, but whilst I was on the path here, I wasn't getting any signal. And I did notice a few tents pitched up as well, so I thought I'll stay away from crowds. And then I went up onto Angle Tarn Pikes. Now I didn't actually go up a path, I just sort of went up the side there until I found a nice flat spot and with signal. And then if I spin it round, get a little zoom on that, then we are probably around here somewhere with that epic view of Angle Tarn. And then that just about wraps up today. So if we zoom out, we'll keep Angle Tarn as our reference point, right in the middle of the screen. Oh, we've gone backwards. And there we are. So I'd say we've probably got about a quarter of the Lake District left to do. So that means tomorrow we will be entering the Yorkshire Dales. And then I think that is a good time to wrap up this video. So thank you all for watching. You're all legends. If you want to check out the Patreon, you can. Patreon.com/goodblokeoutdoors. And I will see you all next week. Peace out in a bit.